You reach a large frozen lake surrounded by a thick pine forest. The quickest way would be to walk straight over the ice, but you don't know how stable it is. The detour through the forest would be safer, but would also take months. You decide to take the quicker route and walk directly across the frozen lake. The ice carries your weight and you make good progress at first.
Let me go ahead. I am the lightest and can search.
She may be light, but I know all there is to know about ice. There are frozen lakes that we cross up in the Brown Range during winter. Let me go ahead.
I can't vouch for Gormgar, but it's true that the lakes in the Brown Range often freeze over in winter.
The cracks in the ice make you too uneasy, and you decide the snow between the trees is deep, and you make very slow progress. The shadows are growing longer. It makes more sense to set up camp for the night than to wander through the woods in the dark. While you rest under a ledge at noon, Rodario and Fergus decide to go ice fishing, and the dwarves immediately pronounce their opposition.
Ice and water about...
Like in a marriage, you mean? At first the woman entices you, but if you stay in her arms like a good...
The good life, in which you go behind the backs of other men, get beaten up and one day die painfully of a sexually transmitted disease.
All slander, my dear.
Rodario bares his teeth.
He reminds me of a billy goat we used to have. Mounted everything that got in its way. One day, he mounted a goat that was standing too close to a cliff.
It snows all day, and the cold wind continues to get stronger. The dwarves trudge.
We have snowstorms in the Brown Range too. If you get caught in a storm while hunting...
The blizzard will be on us before we can build a snow cave. We should look for a sheltered spot and light a fire.
Instead of looking for a shelter, you simply go to some crags nearby and shovel up some snow on the sides to make a windbreak. Fergus lights an alchemic fire, and the closeness of your companions ensures a reasonably warm night. By the next morning, your path leads you over a snowy, hilly plain, and as you scale a particularly steep hill, you falter. A crevasse opens out in front of you. You attach a rope to a huge rock and abseil down, one after the other. You light torches and look around. At some distance you notice the entrance to a cave, which seems to wind... You are afraid that you might get lost in the ice cave and freeze to death in misery. But ultimately, your curiosity is rewarded. You walk ahead with your torch outstretched and see a shadow in the ice. You step backwards in shock. Something glittering in the floor grabs Goimgar's attention. An ornamented gold shield. Part of it is frozen into the ice. You allow Goimgar to free the shield from its icy prison. After you've had a look around the rest of the chamber and taken a short break, you finally arrive at the entrance to a valley that
Vracus, we've done it! Get down!
Up there!
Run! I can't maintain the spell for long!
Put him on Goimgar's shield. To the gate. Quick!
As you approach the first gate, you see guards on the battlements. You call as you run.
By Vracus, we are dwarves of the kingdoms, of the secondlings, and the four...
Report back! Man the walls and the defences!
The guards follow the orders immediately.
Who are you that lead the Alpha?
How dare you speak to us like that? Dwarf who seems to have no name?
Boindale steps forward before you can stop him.
I am Boindale Doubleblade, a child of the smith.
The commander pulls down his scarf, and his face leaves you speechless.
Only a dwarf could make such a fuss. Ballandr Steelfinger. I protect the main gate of the firstlings, therefore it...
But... You
have a keen eye, Boindale Doubleblade.
The tender features and soft fluff leave no room for doubt.
Stay with your brother. I will bring the rest of you to Queen Zamtis, where you can explain what you're doing here.
Come closer. and be welcome to the kingdom.
I am Tungdil Goldhand of the Fourthling Kingdom.
You introduce your companions one by one, not forgetting to mention the twins and the Mager too. You then explain the reason for your visit. The dark brown eyes of the Queen fix on you for a moment before she speaks.
What you report sounds very serious, Tungdil. You can...
There is only one way to defeat Nodon. Keenfire.
The Queen considers, then nods.
So be it. Could there ever be a better time to revive the old commonality of the kingdoms?
Your eyes fall upon Balandis, and you notice the blood rushing to your cheeks.
I will do my best.
We must continue on our journey to the Fifthlings in the Grey Range.
Then I will show you the entrance to the tunnels. You will be in the perished land within a few orbits.
You know the tunnels, but still the Firstlings live...
Our isolation was self-imposed. My mother knew that the other kingdoms would not simply accept her as the queen. She wanted to give them...
Your Highness, in the name of the Council of the Kingdoms, I request that you send a delegation to the Blue Range.
There has never been any enmity between my kingdom and the others. It was more neglected friendship and habit that has made us strangers to one another. As I will have rooms prepared for you and your companions so that you can rest. It has been some time since we have had guests.
Hello.
What is it, Tyndall?
It would seem that a lot of important positions...
Is it not common where you come from that men and women...
Of course. Among the humans and the secondlings, the women help out in the house so that the men have time for their duties.
Here, posts are assigned according to the skills of the applicant, not gender. It's only natural that the most important posts are occupied by women.
What is it like living with the firstlings? I haven't seen much yet, but many things seem to be...
I can't make any real comparisons either. I grew up here and have never left our kingdom. I can hardly wait to...
Don't expect too much. Their halls have been in the hands of the enemy.
I read that the orcs avoid the stronghold.
Even reading doesn't seem to be frowned upon among the firstlings. You feel at home here.
See you later.
The second dwarf stronghold you have ever seen also impresses you greatly. The firstling stronghold is very different.
Ah, Tungdil. I was wondering when you would...
I thank you, and Jeroen. You appeared at the right moment. May I...
It was down to you. Your speech about the responsibility I owe to my realm. Lot Yonan was a good teacher.
Her face darkens when she thinks of her old companion.
That is why I went back to the secondlings and took another look through the books. I discovered a passage that said Keenfire can only take its effect against evil when it is wielded by a foe of the Undergrounders.
A foe of the Undergrounders? It's going to be difficult.
I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I think I might have an answer to the problem. The Alpha are all...
What the...
half human, half elf. My mother bequeathed me her gifts and her weapons. I got very little from my father, but his eyes are an advantage.
And you're sure that only a foe of the Undergrounders can use keen fire?
Anyone can use it like a normal axe, but only a foe of the Undergrounders can command its magical powers. I don't know much about her, but a half-elf should pass as a foe of all dwarves.
All right then. You will wield keen fire in the battle.
You said it.
The actress takes her leave with a little...
How are things with Jarun? Could you help him?
He's doing well. He should be back to full strength after some rest.
You still don't know what kind of being is hidden under the armour. But the Mager's powers seem to have done...
The firstlings have offered to improve his armour. And when one of the best smiths in Girdlegard offers something like that, you should definitely...
How are you and your powers? You look a little exhausted.
I won't lie to you. It has already been too long since I was in a place where I can draw new strength. My power is trickling away like...
Is that perhaps a way to weaken Nod-On?
No, I wouldn't count on that. Even if we could keep him away from the magical realms, the being that lives within him has given him unknown...
How was Sinthras able to overcome your shield?
No, certainly not. I don't know much about their people, but I think they have innate powers. Conjuring darkness, extinguishing fire, changing dreams. Little things that fill humans with fear and ensure the Sinthras used a trick, not a spell. We killed 2 Alfar near Sovereignstone. They had crystals on them which they had received from Nod-On to protect them from the spells of the Magi. He must have used a stone like that.
Take some rest. And I hope you'll still...
The Mager gives you a reproachful look.
Don't worry. We'll stand by you until this expedition has reached its destination.
The inventiveness of your people still impresses you, and fills you with pride for being a dwarf. You guess that this water powers all the machines in the underground city. A masterpiece of engineering. Geralda looks depressed.
You look like something's bothering you.
It's just... they avoid me.
Yeah, well, you did try to kill us when we first met you.
Geralda gives a wry smile.
Not exactly the best of...
You're not a bad person, Geralda. Just give them some time. You said you wanted to join the Free Folk. What do you know about them? And where do I find them? See you later. Namora, may I speak with you? I was wondering how you ended up being an actress with...
I have seen many places and done many things that I would like to... There are no secrets between us. I have never had to pretend with him. He introduced me to Rodario, and I feel...
That sounds like Rodario. Your parents, relationships between humans and
My mother brought me up on her own. I don't know what happened to my father.
You look at her compassionately. Namora notices your expression and shrugs her shoulders.
I never knew him, so I don't miss...
You don't believe her. You never got to know your parents either. But you still miss them even though...
This might be a strange question, but do you sometimes...
That I wasn't half elf? Of course I've thought about it. But what's the point? And well, perhaps it might now serve some benefit for the first time. My heritage...
See you later.
It is simply legendary. No, it is mythical. We definitely need a large theatre so we can convey...
It's going to be difficult, but we'll manage it.
It would appear you like it here.
Ha! Like it? It is fabulous. I almost feel like giving up. Not even the best of it.
And how was your new play?
Good, very good. The band of adventurers who set off to defeat Nodon, aided by the Queen of the Dwarves from the kingdom...
Do you already have a title?
I haven't decided for sure yet, but at the moment I'm thinking along the lines of the heroic dwarves and their loyal companions who...
Every step from here on is more dangerous than the last.
Of course. Every story needs an end.
There is no way I'm going to let Namora ride into battle.
Why didn't you say that Namora is half...
If our spectators knew, they would run away screaming. So I'm sure you'll understand that we couldn't tell a...
You have to admit that you don't know how you would have reacted if Namora had revealed herself in Mifadania.
You already know her, Tungdil. She has skills, but her lineage does not...
I must go. Rest now.
Rest? Haven't you seen? There are machines that keep the whole city alive.
Tungdil.
How is he?
He's lost a hell of a lot of blood.
The crazy glint in Boindale's eyes has given way to serious concern.
I'm doing fine. You must rest, brother. Stay on your back so the wounds... Fortunately, he hasn't lost his pig-headedness. As long as he has that, he'll come through.
Boindale forces a grin, but you can imagine what he...
I thought Antikai was going to look after him. Didn't her magic help?
We don't want her help. Magic is no use. And we certainly...
You know there is no point arguing with the twins about magic. There is too much of a fine line between conviction...
We'll have to go on without him. He won't manage more than 100 paces without dropping down dead.
No! I'll manage, Scholar. Just give me 2 orbits, then I'll be fine.
It's just a scratch.
Boandal, you shake your head.
Stay here and recover, Boandal. We'll meet you again in time for the big battle against Nod-On.
But where one of us is, the other is too. It is the greatest deed that has ever been carried out by our people. Oh. It would seem you are right, scholar.
We'll be separated for the first time in our lives. I will miss you by my side in battle. The first 100 runts will be for you.
You will have to protect him and the others on your own now, brother. Don't take on too much, and rein in your frenzy. You must control your anger better than you usually do. Promise me.
I promise.
Tears run down the bearded cheeks of the two twins. They have never had to part like this before.
I shouldn't bother Boandal anymore. He needs peace and...
I've gathered all of the metal we need for Keenfire. I'm ready to depart.
You nod and then look her solemnly in the eyes.
Once we set off, stay in the background.
The female dwarf's expression darkens.
Shall we engage?
No, Bifracus. No, I know that female dwarves can fight. It's because of the axe.
The face of the smith relaxes, and then a smile appears on...
Greetings, Queen Zamtis.
The Queen bows her head slightly.
Please excuse me for asking, Your Highness, but...
The Queen smiles. She has clearly been expecting the question.
It began with an argument. My father valued my mother's advice, but disputed her ability to lead the kingdom. This frustrated. In the end, they agreed that my mother would govern the firstlings for 14 orbits. And during this time, there was an attack by trolls, and my mother put them to flight with cunning and bravery. When my father demanded the throne again, the other kingdoms were appalled and refused to receive my mother. But our kingdom saw that she was a good queen. And when she died 230 cycles ago, the people...
Your Highness, with your permission, I will take my leave to prepare for the journey.
Of course.
The walls are all covered with gold leaf, reflecting the warm light of the candles and chandeliers. You have never seen such an open, light and airy construction. It was obviously built by the hands of a master. The steel is inlaid. The throne appears to be forged of pure steel. You involuntarily search for The royal guards are dressed in magnificent armor. Not only can they fight effectively,
Greetings, Queen Zamtis.
the Queen.
Is everything ready for our journey to the Kingdom of the...
We have provided wagons for you and your companions.
Yes, we are ready.
The Queen nods slowly.
Rally, may you succeed and return
The plains of Tubain are the most fertile in Girdlegard, and rightly give the kingdom its nickname of the breadbasket. The east of the land has been in revolt since the perished land advanced, and the peace seems to have broken in the heartland too, as a group of strangers...
Why don't we just look for a tunnel that hasn't collapsed?
And what if we don't find one? If we're overground, we at least know that there's a way.
Rudeka is, contrary to what the name suggests, a large city. If Rodario is to be believed, more than 70,000 people live here.
If we are looking for somewhere to quench our thirst or for a roof over our heads, then I would recommend the Golden Well Tavern. And we can find everything we...
You follow Rodario through the lively streets until he reaches a run-down 2-story building. You hope that this dump isn't the tavern. You prepare yourself for the worst. But the inside of the tavern surprises you all. The walls are clad with dark, finely ornamented wood. The floor is clean. The guests look you over, full of curiosity, and many nod a greeting. The haggard woman behind the bar greets you loudly.
Rodario, you old rogue! What are you doing here?
We are on an important mission, Madame Flori, and could do with a place to stay the night.
Rodario...
Sorry for asking, but you said you'd seen some other dwarves recently.
You're thinking of Gandagar's group and wonder whether they might...
Yes, a nice bloke from the west. Paid for his room for a month in advance and then disappeared.
Travelling lights.
That was 3 weeks ago. If he does...
You give Namora a sign and sneak onto the first floor. The half-elf appears moments later. To your surprise, she has Balandis with her, who must have caught something. After apologizing to various guests for intruding, you are left with just one The room is bigger than all the rooms in the tavern you have seen so far, and all just for one guest. The notes are partly written in Dwarvish and partly in the language of humans. The three of you scanned through them until Balandis draw...
What would make a firstling travel to the perished land, or even to the kingdom of the fifthlings?
You believe you found an explanation.
Here, this letter. I have found a way, but I don't know if I will return safely with Star Slasher. That's why I leave to...
Star Slasher?
You have come across this name in the notes a few times already, but you just shrug your shoulders and throw the letter back onto the table in disappointment.
A sword. Apparently it was given to Giselbert I and I by a caravan travelling from the other lands. It seems we're dealing with a treasure hunter.
The big market at the city's south gate certainly lives up to its name. You have never seen a market on such a scale. Stands, large and small, as far as the eye can see. While you push your way through the crowd to get to the trader Rodario wants to introduce to you, you overhear two peasants talk.
Yeah, something strange is going on these days. Old Trundlewood from down Acrehill way said he saw some pointy ears too.
Here we are.
Rodario's sudden announcement draws your attention away from the locals.
Welcome to Brand's Potpourri. Whatever your heart may desire.
Once again, you are received warm. Before you... You are woken with a jolt in the middle of the night by a blood-curdling scream. You look around in panic and see that the others have been...
I can remember. The Alfar. They are doing experiments on the children of the Smith. We have to save them.
Alpha? Experiments? What do you...
I can remember everything. Or at least some of it. I know that I was...
Where was this exactly?
They are...
An Alfar village in Tabain? Doesn't sound very...
By Vracus, if the Alpha are experimenting on dwarves, we can't just ignore it. We can't save the world if we ignore the suffering right in front of our eyes. We will help get...
When you reach Acre Hill, there isn't a single villager in sight. An uneasy feeling creeps over you, which finally turns... As expected, you don't find any survivors. But there are also no undead. The perished land has not yet advanced this...
It was orcs. Looks as though they waited here while the pointy-ears wreaked havoc in the village. It's...
The pictures, painted in blood, tell the horrifying story of how the Alfar came to the village and killed the inhabitants. You also find a few elaborately... When you reach the other end of the village, disgust is written in the faces of your companions. You gather all the bones you can find together and burn them. You wash over the paintings with water from the well. You walk through the villages that once blossomed, but are now deserted due to the advance of the Parish land. The colour has drained away from the... You don't know if the Parish land can ever be driven away again. And even if it can, it is questionable.
Ooh, do you smell that? Come! Oik oik!
Without even waiting for you, Boindil runs over the hill and
I told you you shouldn't touch them.
But I was hungry.
Not a bad idea. If I have to.
And again. Who's next? Vile creature.
Not a bad idea.
And what now?
Creature.
He hardly put up a fight.
Kill. Who's next? And again. Vile creature.
What a waste of time.
I'm not that quick. Yes. So.
I didn't even take
I'm
my
not that quick. Yes. So.
Vile creature.
No chance.
I'm not that quick.
What a waste of time. No chance.
Yes.
Kill.
So.
On my way.
Yes.
And again. Yes. Please wait a moment. I can't do that yet. And again.
He hardly put up a fight.
Kill.
If I have to.
I'm not that quick.
And again.
He hardly put up
What is
a
it?
fight.
Vile creature. Killed. Vile creature.
What a waste of time. And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Who's next?
Of course!
I just need a little rest.
If I have to.
And again. On my way.
Then. Not a bad idea. All right then.
Vile creature! And again! Vile creature!
What a waste of time. No chance.
And again! Vile creature!
Hey, how about some help?
And again! Kill!
Magic takes time. I'll tell you when I'm ready.
And again! Kill! Vile creature! Understood. Huh? Kill!
If I have to.
Understood.
All right, then. bad idea. All right, then.
Vile creature!
If I have to.
Understood.
All right, then.
The chaotic battle between the orcs, the undead, and you. You discover a file that looks like the one Geralda carries with her. Before you can get a proper look at it, Geralda, she turns it back and forth excitedly, but then disappointment spreads across her face. The closer you get to the murky pool, the worse it stinks of decay and death. At first you thought it was only dirty water, but for as It's a map of the surroundings. Not far from your current position is a place clearly marked with a red cross. You tremble at the thought that you could end up the same way. You hope that one of your companions would have sympathy. With the probable location of another camp up your sleeve, you continue on your... With every day you get nearer to the Grey Range, and Geralda gets more restless. Finally, she takes you to task.
Why are we on the way to the kingdom of the...
Don't worry, Geralda. I just wanted to take a look around. We're still searching for...
The female dwarf looks into your eyes for a moment, then nods.
I cannot rest.
Geralda struggles to keep pace all day, and when you see her struggling, you give the order to... The female dwarf looks ill, and as she's aware of the fact, she doesn't even try to make excuses.
The potion! It's finished!
Over the next few days, Geralda's condition grows increasingly worse. She begins to shiver, and more than once you catch her muttering to herself and glancing at Andakai surreptitiously. The Mager claims she does not know what... You reach the place that was marked on the Orc's map.
Dwarves! Oh, how glad I am to finally see members of my own race again. How glad I am to see anyone at all who doesn't want to kill me.
We're here to save you. We've heard that Alfar are experimenting on dwarves. Where are the others?
I am the last one.
There's me too.
You? Ah! So you escaped? Oh, I should have known it.
You're the firstling who set off into the king...
Yes, that's true.
We found your notes in the golden...
I'm grateful. I was hoping that someone would find them in the worst case, and that I was successful. They came in the night, and I had no chance to even defend myself. The next morning, I woke up in this cage. They wanted to do the same to me as they'd done to her.
Casda nods in Geralda's direction.
You and Geralda, you know each other?
She was already here when I arrived. The Alpha did experiments on her. They fed her with a tincture from this device, and then it was as if she was... But the last time, something was different. She fought against the orders of the Alpha, beheaded one of them in the end. She set me in the other prison.
Where are the Alpha? Oh, forget it.
What is it?
Huh? Kill! And again! Kill! And again!
He hardly put up a fight!
Didn't even take off my gloves.
He hardly put up a fight! Who's next?
That's a bad idea.
Kill!
And what now?
All right then.
Yes?
Bad idea. Of time, and I didn't even take off my gloves. No
And again!
chance.
Kill!
What a waste of time.
Creature. Kill! And again. I was hoping never to see a single Shadowmare again after Greenglade.
Good job, there was 2 of them then!
Let's have a look around. Maybe there are more survivors.